Welcome back. It's to preview the Boxing Day clash between Sunderland and Hull City. Pascal, starting with the home side, entered the match off a morale-boosting win against Newcastle.
Yeah, it was a crazy game, wasn't it, at St James's Park? Obviously, Sunderland have got a fantastic record in the Time Weir derby recently. I think that was their 5th win in a row and their 3rd in a row at St James's Park as well. So to go, to your rivals, especially, and win like they did, obviously the last 2 were 3-0, even more convincing than this one. But if anything, this one would have been even better for the fans because it was such a sort of end-to-end game. There would have sort of been emotions up and down the whole way through, and then to win it in the 90th minute like they did. Obviously, Adam Johnson comes up with the goods again. That's the 3rd time in a row he's scored at St James's Park. It could have really gone either way. Newcastle were pushing for the winner at that point, and Sunderland, it was a great break from them. Obviously, quick passing up front, and Will Buckley, great tee off, and it was a great finish from Johnson. And just incredible game there. And obviously, Gus Poyet, he's had 2 brilliant results there recently. And obviously something to build on, and I think Sunderland fans, they'll be just loving life at the moment.
Yeah, I think they played some good stuff, didn't they, at St James's Park? It wasn't sort of smash and grab. A lot of teams had chances, but I think the interesting thing with Sunderland, they've only actually lost 4 league games this season. People don't realise that obviously they've drawn a lot of games, but only the current top 3, Chelsea, Manchester United, and Manchester City, have lost fewer games. United have lost 3. Sunderland on 4, and it's just incredible the amount of games they've actually drawn. And you think if they could have turned a few of those into wins, they could have done a Southampton and be sitting pushing for the top 4. But obviously that is looking forward. But to look at their overall record, it's actually been really good in terms of defeats.
Obviously, but the main problem has been the goals, hasn't it? Obviously, we've talked about their strikers so many times here. Fletcher, he almost scored that fantastic goal when he hit the crossbar at Sunderland, and he's probably their best striker. Obviously, Wickham's been sort of pushed out onto the left, and he looks bright every now and again. But for me, he should be playing up front, and Poyet doesn't seem to want to play a sort of 2-striker formation. And Wickham's best attributes, he's a big guy. He's pretty good in the air. Okay finisher. So I think he should be playing through the middle. Obviously, Altidor's had problems, and I think Poyet now, it'll be really surprising if he doesn't try and sign a striker in January. They've sort of dipped into the international market recently with players like Giaccherini, Alvarez. It's whether he sort of goes further afield or maybe looks closer to home for a striker. But I think Sunderland, Poyet, if he really wants to sort of push towards mayd-table and maybe even the top half, he has to make that move in January because at the moment it's hard to see them finishing any higher than where they are at the moment, which is 14th in the table. So I think January would be interesting for them, but striker is the priority.
So things looking up for Sunderland. Obviously, positive win against Newcastle, but for Hull it's the complete opposite. They're in free for all. Obviously, last season they had such a good season, get to the cup final, good finish in the Premier League, but this season they've had so many struggles. And I think a lot of people, when they made their summer signings, were tipping them to do really well, sort of top half of the table, but it's never quite transpired. They've really struggled in terms of goals. Last time out at home to Swansea, I mean, that's the type of game where Swansea, obviously away is a tough game, but at home against Swansea, you can't lose those sort of games if you're going to get out of the trouble which you're in at the moment, sitting 19th in the table. Lost 1-0 and never really, they had a few chances, few opportunities. Abel Hernandez and Jelavic came on and did okay, but Swansea were quite comfortable. It was a comfortable 1-0, what you say. And I mean, Hull at the moment, they really need a result.
Definitely, obviously, so much pressure on Steve Bruce now, isn't there? He comes up against one of his former sides here, and he'll sort of take a bit of positives from their recent record against Sunderland. I think they've won 3 in a row against them, so that's one positive to look on. But that's sort of clutching at straws, really, isn't it? When you look at Hull, their recent results, they have been just absolutely terrible. And we talk about Bruce being under pressure. Obviously, he did great last season. I think in the past he's done tended to do well in his managerial jobs, but he's always sort of lost his way in the end. And you wonder if that's sort of happening here because all those signings they made in the summer, how much of a part he played in signing those players, we're not too sure. But it is his job to sort of gel them as a team, and it just hasn't worked out. When he signed players with the characters of, say, Ben Arthur, we know that he. On days he can be unplayable, but a lot of the time he doesn't look interested, and it's Bruce's job to sort of really sort of instill that confidence in him. And you wonder how much longer Bruce has got if he can't sort of get these players playing, or if will he continue to make moves in January? Because obviously they made a lot of impressive signings in the summer, and it hasn't worked out. And is there any money left this season? To make any signings in January? I think it'll be interesting.
I mean, you mentioned Ben Arthur. I think Ramirez is that type of character as well, isn't he? When things aren't going his way, and you look at that in such a result, they haven't won since beating Palace at the start of October. I think it was the 4th of October. So that's getting on for sort of 2 months, 3 months, and you're looking at really struggling. So can you back them to pick up a win they really need?
I think it's a really tough game to call. We all know how many games Sunderland have drawn this season, but I think Sunderland will start as favourites. But I just think, I think Hull might get something. I've just got a feeling for them. Obviously, their recent record is good, so I'm going to back a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw. I wouldn't be surprised to see it as well. But I think Sunderland will just edge it. They're just going to be really confident, aren't they? I think the fans will really be up for it. So I think they're just going to nick it. So you've got a narrow win for Sunderland and a 1-1 draw. Thanks for joining us.